You wake up tired, not because your body is weak, but because your mind has been fighting battles that never even happened. You smile in front of people while inside your head, a storm keeps repeating the same fears, the same doubts, the same painful memories. What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if my life never changes? And slowly, without realizing it, negative thinking becomes a prison. But listen carefully. Your mind was never created to destroy you. It was created to guide you. And today, you are going to learn how to take your power back. If you've ever felt trapped in overthinking, if you've ever struggled with anxiety, self-doubt, fear, or emotional exhaustion, stay with me until the end of this video because this message may completely change the way you see yourself and your life. And if you want more videos that help you grow stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and share this video with someone who needs peace in their mind today. Now listen. Negative thinking does not begin loudly. It begins quietly. It starts with one small thought. Maybe someone ignored your message. Suddenly your mind whispers, they don't care about you. Maybe you made one mistake. Your mind says, you always ruin everything. Maybe life becomes difficult for a season. Your thoughts begin saying, nothing will ever get better. And after repeating these thoughts again and again, your brain starts believing them like facts. That is how negativity steals peace. Not in one day. But slowly. There was a young man who lost a small business he worked hard to build. When the business failed, he didn't only lose money. He lost confidence. Every morning he woke up already defeated. Before even trying again, his mind already told him he would fail. He stopped applying for opportunities. He stopped believing in himself. He stopped dreaming. One day an older man asked him something powerful. Did life defeat you, or did your thoughts defeat you first? That question changed everything. Because many people are not losing because life is impossible. They are losing because negative thinking has already convinced them to surrender. Your thoughts matter. The mind is like soil. Whatever you plant repeatedly will grow. If you plant fear every day, fear will grow. If you plant confidence every day, confidence will grow. If you plant hope every day, strength will grow. You cannot constantly feed your mind darkness and expect your life to feel bright. And this is why you must protect your thoughts like your future depends on it, because it does. Many people think taking control of the mind means never having negative thoughts again. That is not true. Even strong people experience negative thoughts. Even peaceful people feel fear sometimes. Even successful people doubt themselves. The difference is this. Weak minds obey every thought. Strong minds question every thought. Just because a thought enters your head does not mean it deserves to stay. Imagine someone knocks on your door carrying trash. Will you invite them inside your living room and ask them to stay forever? Of course not. Then why do that with negative thoughts? Why allow one painful memory to sit in your mind all day? Why allow one insult to destroy your confidence? Why allow fear to control your future? You must learn to say, this thought does not control me. That is power. There was a woman who constantly believed she was not good enough. Every time she looked in the mirror, she criticized herself. Every mistake became proof that she was failing in life. One day her daughter heard her speaking negatively about herself and asked, "Mom, why are you so mean to yourself?" That moment broke her heart. Because she realized she was teaching her child the same self-hatred she learned from the world. From that day forward, she changed the way she spoke to herself. Not overnight. Not perfectly. But little by little. Instead of saying, "I'm useless," she said, "I'm improving." Instead of saying, "I always fail," she said, "I'm learning." Instead of saying, "I hate my life," she said, "I'm grateful I still have another chance." And slowly, her entire energy changed. Because words become beliefs. And beliefs become reality. You must understand something important. Your mind is always listening to you. The way you speak to yourself matters more than the way the world speaks to you. If you wake up every day insulting yourself, your confidence will disappear. If you constantly replay painful memories, your peace will disappear. If you expect the worst every moment, happiness becomes impossible. Many people are physically alive but mentally trapped. But you can escape that prison. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Most people never stop to observe what is happening inside their minds. They simply accept every negative thought automatically. But awareness changes everything. The moment you notice a toxic thought, you gain the power to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is this helping me? Would I speak this way to someone I love? If the answer is no, then stop feeding it. A negative thought without attention becomes weaker. Another powerful way to take control is to change what enters your mind daily. Look around carefully. What are you watching every day? Who are you listening to? What conversations surround your life? Because energy is contagious. If you spend every day around negativity, gossip, complaining, fear, and toxic people, eventually your mind will absorb it. A plant cannot grow in poisoned soil. Protect your mental environment. Listen to things that inspire you. Read words that strengthen you. Spend time with people who bring peace instead of chaos. Your mind deserves healthy energy. There was a man who complained constantly. Every conversation became negative. The weather was bad. Life was unfair. People were terrible. Nothing ever satisfied him. Years passed, and his entire personality became bitterness. Another man faced even harder struggles, but every morning he searched for one reason to be grateful. Just one. Some days it was his family. Some days it was food. Some days it was simply surviving another difficult day. And strangely, despite his problems, he carried more peace. Why? Because gratitude changes the direction of the mind. Negative thinking focuses only on what is missing. Gratitude reminds you of what still remains. You may not have everything you want yet. But you still have something. You still have breath. You still have another opportunity. You still have time to change your story. Never underestimate the power of gratitude. Another thing you must stop doing is predicting disaster. Many people suffer more in imagination than in reality. They create painful futures inside their minds before anything even happens. What if I embarrass myself? What if nobody supports me? What if I fail completely? And because they fear imaginary pain, they never take action. Listen carefully. Most of the things you worry about never happen. And even when difficult moments come, you are usually stronger than you expected. Fear grows in stillness. Confidence grows in action. You cannot think your way into courage. You act your way into courage. Take small steps. Speak even if your voice shakes. Try again even after failure. Walk forward even while afraid. Every small victory teaches your mind that you are capable. Negative thinking also becomes stronger when you constantly compare yourself to others. Social media has made this problem worse. You see someone smiling online and assume they have a perfect life. You see someone succeeding and suddenly feel behind in life. But remember this. People show their highlights, not their hidden pain. Everyone is fighting battles you cannot see. The person smiling may be depressed. The rich person may feel lonely. The successful person may feel empty inside. Stop measuring your worth against other people's lives. Your journey is different. A tree and a flower do not grow at the same speed. But both become beautiful in their own time. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. Peace takes time. Do not hate yourself for being human. Another powerful secret to controlling negative thinking is learning silence. Not every thought deserves a reaction. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is sit quietly, breathe deeply, and let the storm pass without feeding it. Your mind can create emotional waves. But waves always settle when you stop fighting them. There was an old monk sitting beside a river with his student. The student asked, "How do I stop negative thoughts?" The monk pointed at the water. When the water is disturbed, you cannot see clearly. But if you leave it alone, it becomes calm again. Your mind works the same way. Stop panicking over every negative thought. Stop fighting every emotion. Sometimes peace comes from allowing thoughts to pass without attachment. You are not every thought you think. That sentence can change your life. You are the observer of your mind, not the prisoner of it. Another thing. Forgive yourself. Many people live trapped in negativity because they cannot let go of old mistakes. They replay the same regrets every day. I should have done better. I ruined everything. I wasted my time. Listen carefully. You cannot heal while constantly attacking your past self. The person you were yesterday did not know everything you know now. People grow through mistakes. People mature through pain. People become wiser through failure. Forgive yourself for the seasons when you struggled. Even the strongest minds break sometimes. A man once carried 2 heavy buckets across his shoulders every day. One bucket was perfect. The other bucket had cracks and leaked water constantly. The cracked bucket felt ashamed. One day it apologized to the man. "I'm sorry, I'm not good enough." The man smiled and pointed at the path. Beautiful flowers had grown on the side where the cracked bucket leaked water. The bucket thought its weakness made it worthless. But even its brokenness created beauty. Your scars are not proof that you are weak. They are proof that you survived. Stop speaking about yourself like you are hopeless. You are still becoming. You are still growing. And no matter how dark your thoughts have become, light can return. Another important truth. Your body and your mind are connected. If you constantly stay isolated, exhausted, inactive, and unhealthy, negative thinking becomes stronger. Go outside sometimes. Move your body. Drink water. Rest properly. Simple habits can deeply affect your emotional state. Many people try to heal mentally while physically neglecting themselves. Take care of your body because your mind lives inside it. Also learn to celebrate small progress. Sometimes people stay negative because they only focus on huge success. But life changes through small consistent steps. Getting out of bed when you feel depressed is progress. Trying again after failure is progress. Choosing peace over anger is progress. Do not ignore your growth just because it looks small. Small victories create powerful transformations over time. And please remember this. You do not need to control everything. A lot of negative thinking comes from trying to control life completely. You want certainty. You want guarantees. You want every situation to go perfectly. But life does not work that way. Some things will disappoint you. Some people will leave. Some plans will fail. That is part of being human. Peace comes when you stop trying to force life and start learning how to flow with it. Control your mindset. Control your actions. Control your response. And let go of what you cannot control. There is freedom in surrender. A sailor cannot control the ocean. But he can adjust his sail. That is wisdom. Another dangerous habit is constantly replaying pain. Some people relive the same heartbreak every day. The same betrayal. The same embarrassment. The event happened once. But through overthinking, they experience the pain 1,000 times. At some point, you must stop reopening old wounds. Healing begins when you stop giving energy to what already hurt you. You deserve peace too. Imagine carrying a heavy stone everywhere you go for years. Eventually you would become exhausted. Negative memories can become that stone. Sometimes you must put it down. Not because it never mattered, but because you matter too. And listen carefully to this part because it may be the most important message in this entire video. Your life follows the direction of your dominant thoughts. If every day you tell yourself life is hopeless, eventually your energy, choices, and actions will reflect hopelessness. But if every day you choose faith, growth, gratitude, and resilience, slowly your life begins changing from the inside out. Your mind is powerful. Protect it. Feed it wisely. Train it daily. There was a teacher who asked his students, if two wolves are fighting inside you, one filled with fear and negativity, the other filled with peace and strength, which wolf wins? The students answered, the stronger one. The teacher smiled. The one you feed. Every day you are feeding something. What are you feeding? Fear or courage? Anger or peace? Doubt or confidence? Negativity or hope? Choose carefully. Because your thoughts shape your destiny. And understand this clearly. Positive thinking does not mean pretending life is perfect. It means believing you can handle life even when it becomes difficult. That is real strength. Anyone can smile when life is easy. But the strongest people are those who keep hope during dark seasons. You may be struggling right now. Maybe mentally exhausted. Maybe emotionally broken. Maybe tired of fighting your own thoughts. But this chapter is not your entire story. Storms do not last forever. The sun always returns. One small shift in thinking can begin changing your entire life. Start speaking life into yourself. Say, I am growing. I am stronger than my fear. I deserve peace. I can change my life. I will not let negativity control me anymore. Repeat it until your mind believes it. And even if progress feels slow, keep going. Do not quit on yourself. Some transformations happen quietly. A seed underground looks invisible before it becomes a tree. Trust your growth. Trust the process. Trust that your mind can heal. And remember, you become powerful the moment you stop believing every negative thought. The moment you choose awareness over reaction. Peace over chaos. Growth over fear. You begin taking your life back. So from today forward, guard your mind carefully. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your belief. Protect your peace. And whenever negativity tries to return, remind yourself. I control my mind. My mind does not control me. Sometimes the hardest battle is the one nobody sees. People may look at you and think you are fine while inside your mind you are carrying fear, pressure, sadness, confusion, and silent exhaustion. You laugh with others but cry alone. You keep moving, but deep inside you feel stuck. And the dangerous part about negative thinking is this. The longer it stays in your mind, the more normal it begins to feel. You become so used to doubting yourself that confidence feels strange. You become so used to stress that peace feels unfamiliar. You become so used to expecting disappointment that happiness feels suspicious. That is how negativity slowly steals the beauty of life. But you must never allow darkness to convince you that darkness is all that exists. There is still light inside you. Even if you cannot fully see it right now. There was a man who spent years believing he would never become anything meaningful. As a child, people constantly mocked him. Every mistake he made became another reason for others to criticize him. Eventually he accepted those words as truth. He stopped dreaming. Stopped trying. Stopped believing he deserved better. One day he met an old friend who asked him a simple question. Who told you that you were worthless? The man immediately started naming people from his past. His friend looked at him carefully and said, "And why did you believe them more than yourself?" That question stayed in his heart for years. Because many people build their identity from the opinions of broken people. Someone insulted you once, and you carried it for 10 years. Someone rejected you once, and now you reject yourself daily. Someone failed to see your value, and now you question whether you have any value at all. Listen carefully. Do not let temporary pain become a permanent identity. You are more than what happened to you. You are more than your failures. More than your insecurities. More than your past mistakes. A bad chapter does not mean the entire story is bad. And one of the greatest ways to take control of negative thinking is to stop identifying with your worst moments. Everyone has moments they regret. Everyone has seasons where they feel lost. But growth begins when you stop saying, "This is who I am," and start saying, "This is something I'm overcoming." That small shift changes everything. Another reason people stay trapped in negativity is because they constantly seek validation from others. They want everyone to approve of them. Everyone to understand them. Everyone to praise them. But the truth is, no matter how kind you are, some people will still misunderstand you. No matter how hard you try, some people will still criticize you. If your peace depends on everyone liking you, you will never truly feel free. There was a young artist who loved painting. But every time someone criticized his work, he became discouraged. Eventually he stopped painting completely. Years later, he met an older painter who told him, "If you let fear of judgment silence your gift, the world loses something beautiful." That message changed his life. And maybe someone listening right now needs to hear this too. Do not let negative opinions stop you from becoming who you were meant to be. People who criticize everything are often struggling within themselves. Do not hand them control over your confidence. Protect your energy. Another important truth is this. Your thoughts become stronger when you are constantly idle. An empty mind easily becomes a battlefield. When you sit all day replaying problems without purpose, negative thinking multiplies. This is why meaningful action matters. Learn something new. Work on your goals. Build healthy habits. Help people. Create something meaningful. Purpose weakens negativity. A focused mind has less space for destruction. Think about it. Some of the happiest moments in life happen when you are fully present. Watching the sunset. Laughing deeply with someone you love. Working passionately on something meaningful. Listening to music that touches your soul. In those moments, your mind is not torturing you with fear about tomorrow. It is simply alive. That is why presence is powerful. Negative thinking often drags you into two dangerous places. Regret about the past. Or fear about the future. But peace exists in the present moment. Right here. Right now. Take a deep breath. Notice how many battles in your mind are not even happening at this exact moment. Your thoughts are creating suffering that reality has not created. This is why learning mindfulness changes lives. When your mind starts racing, pause. Focus on your breathing. Focus on the moment. Focus on what is real instead of what fear is imagining. You do not always need to solve every thought. Sometimes you simply need to return to the present. There was a woman who constantly worried about losing everything. Even during happy moments, her mind searched for danger. One evening her grandfather told her something simple but powerful. You cannot enjoy today if you keep mentally living in tomorrow's problems. That sentence woke her up. How many beautiful moments are people missing because they are trapped inside anxious thinking? A peaceful meal becomes stressful because of overthinking. A beautiful relationship becomes painful because of insecurity. A good opportunity becomes terrifying because of fear. Negative thinking steals joy from the present. Do not let it rob your life any longer. Another thing you must remember is this. Healing your mind requires patience. Many people quit too early. They try positive thinking for 2 days and become frustrated because their mind still feels heavy. But your brain learns through repetition. If negativity has been your habit for years, change will take time. Be patient with yourself. Every day you interrupt a negative thought, you are becoming stronger. Every day you choose hope over despair, you are rewiring your mindset. Every day you continue fighting for peace, you are healing. Growth is happening even when it feels invisible. Imagine going to the gym once and expecting your body to transform overnight. That sounds unrealistic. Mental strength works the same way. You build it daily. Thought by thought. Choice by choice. And another powerful way to take control is through silence from unnecessary noise. Not every argument deserves your energy. Not every social media post deserves your attention. Not every drama deserves your reaction. Protecting your peace sometimes means disconnecting from chaos. Many people are mentally exhausted because they consume negativity all day. Bad news. Online arguments. Toxic conversations. Constant comparison. Then they wonder why their mind feels heavy. Your mind absorbs what you repeatedly expose it to. Feed it carefully. A wise man once said, "You become what you consume." And that includes mentally. Consume peace. Consume wisdom. Consume encouragement. Consume growth. Your inner world matters. Also understand this. Negative thinking often increases when people ignore unresolved emotional pain. Some wounds need healing, not hiding. If something deeply hurt you, acknowledge it. If someone betrayed you, admit the pain. If you are emotionally tired, stop pretending you are okay all the time. Real strength is not suppressing emotions. Real strength is facing them honestly without letting them destroy you. Crying does not make you weak. Feeling emotions does not make you weak. You are human. Even strong people break sometimes. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to become emotionally wise. Learn to feel without drowning. Learn to hurt without losing yourself. Learn to heal without becoming bitter. That is true power. And please stop expecting perfection from yourself. Perfectionism creates endless negativity. Nothing feels good enough. Every mistake feels huge. Every flaw feels unacceptable. But perfection does not exist. Even the moon has scars, yet people still call it beautiful. You are allowed to be imperfect and still worthy of love, peace, and success. Do not destroy yourself trying to become flawless. Focus on becoming real. Becoming better. Becoming wiser. That is enough. There was a student who always feared making mistakes. He studied constantly, worked harder than everyone else, yet remained anxious all the time. One day his teacher told him, "You are so afraid of failing that you forgot how to live." That hit deeply. Because many people are not enjoying life anymore. They are simply surviving mentally. Always worried. Always stressed. Always overthinking. But life was not meant to be lived entirely in fear. You deserve moments of peace too. You deserve laughter. Rest. Joy. Calmness. Do not feel guilty for protecting your happiness. And remember this carefully. Your environment shapes your mindset. If you stay around people who constantly drain your energy, criticize your dreams, and spread negativity, eventually your spirit becomes tired. Some people only bring confusion into your life. Every conversation becomes gossip. Every interaction feels heavy. Every moment around them leaves you emotionally exhausted. Protect your circle. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Spend more time with people who inspire growth, peace, kindness, and purpose. Energy transfers silently. A peaceful environment can heal a tired mind. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply slow down. The world constantly pressures people to rush. Rush to succeed. Rush to become rich. Rush to prove something. But constantly rushing creates anxiety. Slow down sometimes. Watch the sky. Enjoy simple moments. Sit quietly with yourself. Peace often hides in simplicity. The happiest people are not always the ones with the most money or fame. Often, they are the people who learned how to calm their minds. Because inner peace is priceless. You can have wealth and still feel empty. You can have followers and still feel lonely. You can achieve success and still battle negativity inside. That is why mastering your mind matters more than impressing the world. And listen carefully. Do not let one bad day convince you that your entire life is bad. Everyone has difficult days. Days where motivation disappears. Days where emotions feel heavy. Days where your mind becomes noisy. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Be gentle with yourself during hard moments. Speak to yourself with compassion instead of cruelty. You would not insult a friend for struggling. So why insult yourself? Your inner voice matters. Make it kinder. Make it wiser. Make it stronger. Because one day, the way you speak to yourself will either heal you or destroy you. And another thing. Learn to celebrate your survival. Some of you listening right now have survived pain that almost broke you completely. You survived heartbreak. Rejection. Loss. Loneliness. Failure. Yet you are still here. Do not ignore your strength just because your journey has been painful. Sometimes surviving is already a victory. A flower does not bloom every single day. Yet nobody calls it a failure during the seasons when it is growing quietly. Your growth may be invisible right now. But invisible growth is still growth. Trust the process. Keep moving forward. And whenever negative thinking returns, remind yourself of this truth. Thoughts are temporary. Emotions are temporary. Storms are temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Not even pain. One day the things keeping you awake at night may become lessons that made you stronger. One day the fear controlling you now may disappear completely. One day you will look back and realize you survived moments you once thought would destroy you. So do not give up on yourself now. Your future self is depending on you to keep going. There are people walking through life smiling on the outside while fighting wars nobody can see on the inside. Every day they battle thoughts that whisper. You are not enough. You will never succeed. Nothing will change. You are too broken. And after hearing those thoughts long enough, they begin to believe them. That is why controlling your mind is one of the greatest skills you will ever develop. Because if you do not take control of your thoughts will take control of you. A negative mind can turn a peaceful day into suffering. It can turn a small mistake into a personal disaster. It can turn silence into loneliness. It can turn fear into paralysis. But the beautiful thing is this. The same mind that creates fear can also create strength. The same mind that creates doubt can also create confidence. Everything begins with awareness. The moment you notice negativity trying to grow inside you, pause and ask yourself. Is this thought helping me become stronger, or weaker? That one question can save you from emotional destruction. There was a farmer who owned 2 gardens. One garden was carefully protected. He watered it daily, removed weeds, and gave attention to healthy growth. The second garden was ignored. Weeds spread everywhere until the entire garden became unhealthy. One day someone asked him why one garden looked beautiful while the other looked destroyed. The farmer smiled and said, "The difference is what I allowed to grow." Your mind works the same way. If you constantly allow fear, bitterness, jealousy, anger, and hopelessness to grow unchecked, eventually they will take over your inner world. But if you feed peace, discipline, gratitude, courage, and hope, your life slowly transforms. The mind follows what you repeatedly practice. And that is important to understand. Negative thinking is often a habit. Some people have practiced worrying for so long that they do it automatically. Some have practiced self-doubt for years. Others have practiced expecting disappointment so often that they no longer know how to hope. But habits can change. You are not trapped forever. A person who learns to think differently can completely change their life. There was a woman who constantly expected people to hurt her. Every relationship became stressful because she assumed betrayal was coming. If someone replied late, she panicked. If someone became quiet, she imagined rejection. Her thoughts created suffering before reality even did. One day her friend told her, "You keep punishing yourself for things that haven't happened." That sentence hit her deeply. How often do people destroy their own peace imagining problems that do not even exist? This is why you must stop creating painful stories inside your head without evidence. Not every silence means rejection. Not every delay means failure. Not every challenge means disaster. Sometimes your mind exaggerates fear. Calm down before assuming the worst. Another thing that fuels negative thinking is replaying old pain. Some people relive heartbreak every day. Some replay embarrassment from years ago. Some continue mentally fighting battles that already ended long ago. Listen carefully. You cannot heal while constantly reopening the same wound. At some point, you must decide that your peace matters more than your attachment to pain. That does not mean pretending nothing hurt you. It means refusing to let the pain control your future forever. A wise man once carried a glass of water while teaching his students. He asked, "How heavy is this glass?" The students gave different answers. The man smiled and said, "The weight depends on how long I hold it." Then he explained, "If I hold it for a minute, it's fine. If I hold it for hours, my arm hurts. If I hold it for days, it becomes unbearable." Pain works the same way. Some people carry emotional weight far longer than necessary. Sometimes you must put the glass down. Not because the pain was fake, but because your peace is important too. And another powerful truth is this. You become mentally stronger when you stop needing constant reassurance. Many people depend entirely on external validation to feel okay. They need compliments to feel worthy. Attention to feel important. Approval to feel confident. But depending on others for self-worth creates emotional instability. Because people change. Opinions change. Attention fades. Real confidence is built internally. It comes from knowing your value even when nobody applauds you. A lion does not need permission to know it is powerful. And neither do you. Stop waiting for everyone else to recognize your worth before you believe in yourself. Sometimes the world overlooks amazing people simply because they do not fit expectations. But your value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. Remember that. Another major reason negative thinking grows is because people spend too much time focusing on what they cannot control. They stress over other people's opinions. Over situations from the past. Over uncertain futures. But stress increases when attention is placed on powerless areas. Peace increases when focus returns to what you can control. You can control your attitude. Your actions. Your mindset. Your discipline. Your response. Focus there. There was a sailor caught in a violent storm at sea. The waves became aggressive. The wind became dangerous. But instead of screaming at the storm, the sailor focused on adjusting the sail. That is wisdom. You cannot always control life's storms. But you can control how you respond to them. And your response changes everything. Some people become stronger through suffering. Others become bitter. The difference often comes from mindset. A difficult moment can either become a prison or a lesson. Choose wisely. And listen carefully to this. Do not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Many people ruin opportunities, relationships, and even their own peace because they react emotionally without thinking clearly. When anger rises, pause. When fear rises, breathe. When negativity rises, slow down. A calm mind makes better decisions. That is why inner peace is power. People who master their emotions become difficult to destroy. Not because life becomes easy, but because they no longer panic over every challenge. Emotional control is strength. There was an elderly man known for his calmness. One day someone insulted him publicly, expecting a reaction. But the old man simply smiled and stayed silent. Later his student asked, "How did you stay so calm?" The old man replied, "If someone hands you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The student answered, "The person who offered it." The old man nodded. "Exactly. I refuse to accept the insult." That is emotional intelligence. Not every attack deserves your reaction. Not every negative comment deserves your energy. Sometimes silence protects peace better than arguments ever will. And another thing. Your mind becomes stronger when your life gains purpose. People without direction often overthink everything. But purpose creates focus. Find meaningful goals. Build something valuable. Learn new skills. Help others. A purposeful life leaves less room for destructive thinking. And never underestimate the healing power of helping others. Sometimes people become trapped in negativity because they only focus on themselves and their pain. But when you encourage someone, support someone, lift someone up, something beautiful happens inside you too. Kindness heals both directions. There was a young man battling depression who started volunteering at a shelter. At first, he believed he had nothing to offer. But slowly, helping others gave him a sense of meaning again. One day he said, "For the first time in years, I stopped thinking only about my pain." Purpose helped him breathe again. And maybe someone listening right now needs purpose more than endless overthinking. Your life still matters. You still have something valuable to give this world. Do not let negativity convince you otherwise. Also remember this truth. Your peace will require boundaries. Some people drain your spirit constantly. Every conversation becomes drama. Every interaction creates stress. Every moment around them leaves you emotionally exhausted. Protecting your mind sometimes means creating distance. Not out of hate, but out of self-respect. You cannot heal in environments that constantly poison your peace. And another dangerous habit is speaking negatively about yourself as a joke. Many people constantly say, "I'm stupid. I'm ugly. I'm a failure. My life is terrible." Even jokingly, your mind absorbs repeated language. Stop cursing your own future with your words. Speak life into yourself. Your words carry energy. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning." Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "I'm improving." Small changes in language create huge changes in mindset over time. Because your brain listens carefully to what you repeat daily. And please remember this. Healing your thoughts is not about becoming positive every second. That is unrealistic. Some days will still feel difficult. Some mornings will still feel heavy. But progress means you recover faster. You panic less. You believe in yourself more. You stop drowning in negativity as deeply as before. That is growth. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Even slow healing is still healing. And there is something powerful about choosing hope even after disappointment. A candle still shines even after being surrounded by darkness. And so can you. No matter how many difficult moments you have faced. Your story is not over. You can still rebuild confidence. You can still heal emotionally. You can still create peace inside your mind. Never believe the lie that you are too damaged to change. Human beings are incredibly powerful. People survive heartbreak, loss, failure, pain, and still find reasons to smile again. That is resilience. That is strength. That is the beauty of the human spirit. So from this moment forward, start becoming more conscious of what you allow into your mind. Protect your peace like treasure. Be careful what you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time with, what thoughts you repeatedly entertain. Everything shapes your inner world. And your inner world eventually shapes your entire life. If this message connected with your heart, subscribe to the channel for more powerful content like this. Leave a comment below and share what part spoke to you the most. And share this video with someone who may be silently struggling with negative thoughts right now. Sometimes encouragement arrives exactly when someone needs it most. Your mind can become your greatest enemy. Or your greatest strength. The choice begins with what you feed daily.